I need you to pause and pay attention. If you're a male over 60 and you've been instructed to consume more vegetables for improved health, one of the vegetables in your refrigerator right now might be the source of your declining energy, enlarged prostate, and waning erections. You're progressively losing your masculinity because you've been eating what society has told you is healthy, not because you're getting older. I have over 30 years of expertise helping men in their 60 seconds, 70 seconds, and 80 seconds regain their energy and sexual function naturally. I am a urologist and men's health specialist, and I've repeatedly seen that the most effective treatment is found on your plate, rather than in a pill. What if I told you that some vegetables, yes, vegetables are packed with unidentified substances that increase estrogen, cause artery stiffness, and lead to inflammation in the prostate? Even worse, well-meaning experts declare the majority of them to be heart-healthy. The contradiction is that you could be hurting more from the very foods that are supposed to help. I'll share 3 neglected vegetables in this video that most men ignore, but that, according to science, can help you regain your manhood, support your prostate, boost your confidence, and restore blood flow in a matter of days. If circulation, testosterone, and libido are important to you, I'll tell you about 3 vegetables you should stop eating right away. Stay tuned for additional advice on how to cook these vegetables for optimal nutritional absorption, which will help you stay strong even at 80. You'll never look at your vegetables the same way once you learn the truth. Before we explore these shocking facts about the vegetables that might be subtly compromising your health, please click the subscribe button and turn on the bell to ensure that you never miss any videos about staying strong, intelligent, and self-assured after the age of 60. Type 1 in the comments if this information is useful to you. If not, enter 0. Help me continue making these videos better for you. Okay, so let's begin with the fact that many of you may find most shocking. Let's reveal the first vegetable that may be the primary cause of your waning energy, despite its great reputation for health. I want to share a story with you about a man I once treated. He was a 8-year-old retired school principal named James, who was married to the love of his life and had a sharp mind, but something essential was lacking. Confused and silently embarrassed, he entered my office. "The rest of my health is good, doctor," he stated, "but I don't feel like myself anymore. My energy is low, I'm exhausted, and the fire in the bedroom has simply gone out." We conducted tests. Despite having slightly elevated cholesterol and a healthy heart, one thing stood out. His testosterone was at the lower end of the spectrum, and his estrogen levels were unusually high for a man of his age. I inquired about his diet at that point. James proudly informed me that years ago, he had replaced red meat and dairy with heart-healthier options like tofu, soy milk, and edamame as a snack, at the recommendation of his cardiologist. At that point, the puzzle started to fit together. Soy is the first vegetable you should consider cutting back on or completely avoiding. Despite its positive reputation, soy is a rich source of phytoestrogens, which are plant substances that replicate the actions of the female hormone estrogen in the male body. For a man over 60, this is key. Your natural testosterone levels are already progressively dropping at this point in your life. You're throwing the hormonal balance even farther off if you include substances in your diet that function similarly to estrogen. What does this mean in practice? Reduced libido, a softer, more worn-out body, and for many men like James, erections that wane, become erratic, or disappear completely. Soy isn't the only evident issue. It's the frequency with which it infiltrates your diet without being detected. Processed snacks, protein bars, sauces, and meat substitutes are prevalent. Because soy is inexpensive and has a healthful label, the industry adores it. Your male hormones, however, are aware of the reality. James was willing to attempt a change despite his disbelief. It was an easy strategy. Clean protein sources were substituted for soy, and he returned with more vigor in a matter of weeks. His wife sent me a handwritten thank you note a month later that simply said, "Doctor, you returned my husband to me." Am I implying that soy is toxic? No. However, it is a component of a healthy diet that is best avoided by men over 60, particularly those who are experiencing fatigue or performance problems. In keeping with the theme of nutritious foods having a dark side, our next vegetable is even more unexpected. Millions of people's diets contain it. But in its most processed form, it may be contributing to chronic inflammation, which can harden arteries and divert blood flow where it's most needed. You'll be surprised at how widespread it island. Corn is a staple that is used in a vast number of meals all over the world. And I want to be absolutely clear about this. The fresh corn on the cob you eat at a barbecue is not what I mean. I am referring to corn, which is a staple of our contemporary diet. Corn is used to make corn syrup, corn starch, corn oil, and a myriad of other processed goods. I'd like to introduce you to Robert, a 62-year-old man who approached me about a troubling issue. In addition to erectile dysfunction, he was experiencing constant weariness and joint pain. By replacing butter with margarine derived from vegetable oil, usually corn-based, he was acting in accordance with his moral convictions. However, his attempts to maintain his health seemed to exacerbate the situation, which upset him. Chronic inflammation was Robert's concern. It was an unseen but formidable foe. Omega-6 fatty acids are abundant in corn, particularly when it is processed. Our bodies now require omega-6 fatty acids, but they must be carefully balanced with omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3 fatty acids, which are present in walnuts, flaxseed, and fish, create a balance that has been disrupted by the modern diet. Our omega-6 intake is up to 20 times higher than it should be. Your body goes into a persistent state of low-grade inflammation when this ratio is off. Imagine it as a tiny fire that never goes out inside of you. The endothelium, the delicate tissue that lines your arteries, is harmed by this inflammation. What does the endothelium produce, you ask? Nitric oxide. Your capacity to produce nitric oxide falls when it is impaired, resulting in arteries that stiffen and lose their elasticity. There is a significant decrease in blood flow to the penis and all other regions of the body. Additionally, joint pain, exhaustion, and even prostate enlargement are associated with inflammation. In fact, the inflammation that was hardening Robert's arteries was being exacerbated by his heart-healthy diet. For Robert, the strategy seemed obvious. With fatty fish like salmon and premium fish oil supplements, we significantly increased his omega-3 consumption and eliminated processed seed oils like corn and soy. The transformation was striking within a month. His vascular health was clearly improving as his joint discomfort subsided. His morning energy returned, and he began to notice morning erections for the first time in years. Read the labels and recognize that you might be contributing to the inflammation that is suffocating your vitality. If you see corn oil, soy oil, or corn syrup, this leads us to the third and most contradictory antagonist. When taken improperly, a vegetable that is a staple in detox smoothies and super healthy salads may be preventing the absorption of the mineral that is most crucial for a man's testosterone production. And now for the vegetable that most surprises my patients. Despite being the health community's favorite food, this item has a sinister secret, especially for men over 60. I am referring to spinach, more specifically, large amounts of raw spinach. Although it may seem contradictory, let me explain using the example of William, a 6-7-year-old amateur marathon runner who was making every effort to maintain his fitness. He believed he was giving his body plenty of nutrients by starting each day with a large green smoothie full of raw spinach. However, his blood work revealed otherwise. Despite consuming meals high in zinc, his testosterone levels were low, and his zinc levels were extremely low. Additionally, he lamented the absence of his libido. William's issue was not with his diet, but rather with the way it interacted with his body. Oxalate is the compound that is the enemy here. One of the best sources of oxalates is raw spinach, which acts as tiny nutrient robbers in the digestive tract. Before you can absorb them, oxalates attach to vital minerals and pull them out of your body. Zinc is one of the minerals that oxalates enjoy stealing, and as we've discussed, zinc is like gold to a man. It is a crucial component for the production of testosterone and the health of the prostate. Therefore, William was unwittingly denying his body the mineral it most needed to sustain his manhood with each sip of that incredibly nutritious green smoothie. Do I mean to advise against eating spinach? Absolutely not. Magnesium and other minerals are abundant in spinach. The key is the how, not the what. Simply boiling spinach or even heating it for a few minutes significantly lowers its oxalate concentration, allowing your body to absorb those minerals. Within weeks, William's testosterone and zinc levels began to rise after he replaced his raw smoothie with an omelet containing sautéed spinach. Now that you are aware of your plate's secret adversaries, let's switch roles and discuss the 3 forgotten heroes. The vegetables you should include in your diet right now to actively restore your strength, circulation, and hormonal balance. Let's reverse the situation and concentrate on the power of reconstruction. For men over 60, I believe there are 3 vegetables that are absolutely necessary. They're not pricey or exotic. In fact, most men ignore them because they are so prevalent. The beet is our first hero and the undeniable champion of circulation. Your one-man army is beets if poor circulation is the enemy. Do you recall James's perception of the system's lack of pressure? The simple answer to that is beets. They are among the most abundant natural sources of nitrates in food. Your body transforms these nitrates into nitric oxide when you eat beets. As we've seen, nitric oxide is the master molecule that relaxes and opens your blood vessels so that blood can circulate vigorously throughout your body. Imagine it as a way to transform a kinked garden hose into a firefighter's cannon. Consuming beet juice can dramatically reduce blood pressure and enhance endothelial function, which refers to the condition of your arterial linings. According to a study published in the Journal of Nutrition, the detail that most people overlook, however, is this. The way you eat beets is very important. The benefits of beets are diminished when they are pickled or preserved. A large percentage of those healthy nitrates are destroyed by the high heat required for canning and prolonged storage. Even worse, pickling involves a brining process that overloads beets with vinegar and sodium, which can narrow your arteries and counteract the very benefits you're seeking. Fresh beets, whether grated in a salad, lightly roasted, or steamed, are essential for maximizing the benefits. Despite its instruction manual, our second hero is a champion of hormonal balance. Broccoli. The balance between testosterone and estrogen is actually the key to vitality. Although many men simply concentrate on testosterone, here's the reality. Broccoli is one of the most effective vegetables for men over 60, particularly for preserving prostate health and detoxifying estrogen. However, it only works if it is prepared properly. Like cauliflower and other cruciferous vegetables, broccoli also contains a substance known as sulforaphane. This substance is revolutionary. It lowers systemic inflammation, aids in the liver's detoxification, and, most importantly for older men, helps eliminate excess estrogen, promoting a balanced testosterone level. There's a significant catch, though. Sulforaphane is extremely sensitive to heat. The majority of this therapeutic component is destroyed when broccoli is overcooked or, worse, microwaved. All that's left is a lifeless stalk that provides fiber, yes, but not the defense your aging body needs. Do you recall the bloated, hazy patient named Robert? At first, he claimed to eat broccoli every night. However, he responded, "I microwave it for 5 minutes until it's really soft." When I inquired how, unbeknownst to him, he was destroying the same nutrient his body was craving. He was consuming food that was supposed to support his masculinity, but the way it was prepared rendered it useless. He began to notice minor differences when we made the simple decision to steam broccoli for no more than 3 or 4 minutes, or even eat it raw with a nutritious dip. His energy gradually began to return, his nighttime urination subsided, and his thoughts cleared. It's a minor adjustment, but little things count for men over 60. Habits that are repeated can either help or hurt. Unfortunately, many men believe they are doing the right thing by eating more vegetables because they have been instructed to, but they are unaware that the way they prepare those vegetables makes a big impact. In addition to ruining the flavor, overcooking broccoli deprives your body of one of the strongest compounds known to protect the prostate. This leads us to our last and third forgotten hero, whose silent guardian of testosterone is this one, gentlemen, mushrooms. Indeed, mushrooms in particular, the common white button mushrooms that you may buy at any supermarket. They are far more than just an ingredient for salads or pizza. They are a true natural pharmacy for the hormonal well-being of men. Let me introduce you. to William, the runner I mentioned earlier, who is 67 years old. Even though his zinc levels had improved, he felt that his libido and competitive drive were still low after modifying his spinach diet. Though not powerful, he felt better. His hormonal puzzle was lacking a piece. That component was a specific enzyme that becomes increasingly active as people age. William was having trouble with an enzyme called aromatase. Consider aromatase to be a thief of testosterone. The body uses it to convert your valuable testosterone into estrogen. Men's aromatase activity increases with age, particularly if they have a bit of excess belly fat. In other words, this enzyme is stealing testosterone from your body and converting it into the female hormone before you can use it. This explains why William didn't feel his best, despite having healthy zinc levels. Too quickly, his testosterone was being transformed into estrogen. This is where the beauty of mushrooms lies. Simple white button mushrooms have been shown to contain substances that function as natural aromatase inhibitors in scientific investigations, such as those conducted by the Beckman Research Institute. They don't directly increase the synthesis of testosterone. They behave more like bodyguards by preventing the enzyme from converting your existing testosterone into estrogen. They safeguard it. This implies that more of your testosterone remains in your blood to function as free, active testosterone, increasing your vitality, libido, mental clarity, and muscle mass. The last piece of the puzzle came together when I started feeding William sautéed mushrooms with garlic and olive oil a couple of times a week. A month or so later, he called me. There was a new depth to his voice. "This is it, doctor," he said. "The drive has returned. The energy isn't frenetic. I haven't felt that kind of composed, self-assured strength in more than 10 years. With each meal, he was actively supporting his hormones. That's it. Properly prepared broccoli is also important for hormonal health. Balance, fresh beets for blood flow, and mushrooms to protect your testosterone levels. These dishes aren't trendy. There is actual science underlying these functional foods. They demonstrate that the solution to regaining your manhood lies on your plate rather than in a pill bottle. To ensure you get the most out of each of these vegetables, let's tie everything together with a straightforward action plan and the bonus tip I promised. We've revealed which vegetables you should avoid or prepare with caution, including soy due to its hormonal effects, processed corn due to its inflammatory burden, and too much raw spinach due to its zinc-thieving properties. We've identified 3 heroes you should include in your diet: mushrooms to protect your testosterone, properly prepared broccoli to regulate your hormones, and fresh beets to fill your body with nitric oxide. As promised, for those of you who stuck with it through to the finish, here's the extra tip that will make it even better. We've discussed magnesium and zinc, but most men don't know about a third mineral that can significantly increase testosterone. The neglected mineral of male vigor, boron, is your bonus tip. Indeed, despite being a trace mineral that receives little attention, science has shown that it is quite potent. A blood protein called SHBG, which binds to testosterone and makes it inactive or ineffective, can be reduced by boron. Boron helps raise your free testosterone, the type that really counts for strength, energy, and libido, by decreasing SHBG. How is boron obtained? Expensive supplements are not necessary. Great sources include foods like dates, raisins, and, yes, our hero, avocado. One easy way to ensure the testosterone your body produces is truly usable is to include a few dates in your smoothie or a handful of raisins in your snack. It's the unseen force that improves everything else. These are the basics, but I'm sure some of you are eager to learn more. Please take a moment to like, share, and leave a comment. Comment below if this video was helpful to you or someone you care about. Another person may be inspired to start down the path to improved health by your story, your questions, or even just a simple thank you. I read all of the comments, and your suggestions will influence how this channel develops going forward. Show this film to anyone over 60 who is having trouble with confidence, intimacy, or vitality. It might have a greater impact than any medication ever could. Turn on the bell and click the subscribe button to ensure you don't miss these upcoming discussions. By working together, we can rethink what it means to age gracefully, We appreciate your participation in this project and your trust.